Welcome back, blade fans. This old sword with you once again. And we've got something brand new and recently released from Maxace. I'm going to show it to you in just a moment, but I will say that thanks to White Mountain Knives and Justin up there, this arrived in short order, and a lot of bang for your buck here. So I will unveil it from the lovely carbon fiber-ish looking semi-soft, semi-hard case here. I think this is kind of a nice added touch. Let's take a peek. And here we have the Kestrel. And I'm just going to give you a few moments to take it in. It is an unusual knife in terms of materials and construction. Getting a lot of bang for the buck here. Yes, it's a front flipper with some good, fine, aggressive jimping there. Beautiful recurve blade. Drop point recurve is what I'd call it. Got a definite inverse curve there. We have a blade of M390, and you're only going to see that, by the way, when the knife is half open, which is kind of interesting. A Kestrel is a small raptor akin to the hawk family. So that's the naming. We have aluminum for the back of the knife, and that is a 7075 aluminum alloy. Now I'm not sure if it's T6 hardened or some other number, but the T6 that you often hear when aluminum knife handle specs are given is the hardening of it, I just learned. But it's a very high quality aluminum alloy, the 775. The steel, as I said, is Bowler M390. And you're coming in at around 120, I believe. Let me get that straight. I'm going to say, here we go. I'm out at White Mountain Knives, just checking the price. 128, less your 10% discount. We'll take about 13 bucks off the price. So some specs. It's got a 3.6 inch blade, hair over that. It is flat ground. So they say. Got a beautiful swedge on the top. White G10 on this one. You can get it, but I haven't seen it in the US. You can get it with a black G10 and a red anodized aluminum backstrap, if you will. Open slot construction there. Nice lanyard slot. The clip is stainless steel. It is magnetic. The locking bar is stainless steel. So we've got steel on steel, which isn't uncommon for a liner lock, but this is really more of a frame lock. You can see where it's attached there with one screw to the G10. And let's see, can't see inside any other way. Just want to check inside for a moment. Yep, we've got actually that bar is secured in two places. It's secured back by a screw from underneath that also holds the clip in place, and it is secured there directly to the G10. Interesting construction. T8 up front for the pivot and flat on the other side. I'm not sure if that pivot is captured or not. I haven't adjusted this. The action's quite nice. It won't quite fall shut, but you can flip it out quickly with the front flipper, or you can roll it out slowly. White G10's got a little bit of a texture to it. I have almost no knives, I think, other than this one with white G10. One thing I'll point out is that the locking bar, which doesn't have a hardened steel insert because it's not titanium, that we only see those on titanium, there's just a little bit of lock stick there. It isn't too annoying, but you can feel it click when it disengages. I don't find that a real big deal. Might bother some people, but it's not as if you can't unlock it easily like that. No problem. And it's a nice front flipper. It operates very, very well. A few more specs if I can grab them here. Get you a little closer look while we do that. It is, blade thickness is 0.157, so a little over 4 millimeters. The blade length, as I mentioned, is 3.62. Overall length, 8.27 inches. Get you the handle thickness in a minute, which isn't often given. The handle length is 4.65 inches, and the weight is only 3.7 ounces. So, because of all that G10 and aluminum, you got a very light weight. And for this price, 128 from White Mountain, less your 10%, to get Bowler M390, even though you're not getting any titanium anywhere, you've got a light knife with an exquisite edge. I mean, this edge is definitely what it should be. About as good as you're going to get. It's got some aggressiveness to it. It feels razor sharp. Maybe later we'll cut some paper with it. Or we can cut some paper now. Hang on a second. Okay, we'll see if we can prove me right or prove me wrong. All right, so I think it's got a pretty good edge on it. Maybe not quite as fine or thin as some, but I'm not unhappy with it. And you got that nice recurve in there, which really, as you draw the blade and you increase the pressure towards that belly on the blade, you get extra force in your cut. That's kind of the whole concept behind the recurve. And recurves aren't the easiest thing in the world to sharpen. Probably the best way to do it is on a ceramic stick. You try to do it on a flat stone, you're going to have problems. There are some attachments for the KME sharpener that allow you to get in there, kind of a rounded stick affair with three sides of different diamond. So I said we would get a thickness on the handle. If I can find the right instrument here, we can do that. Maybe we can, maybe we can't. Well, we're going to do it a different way. Thickness is a little over a half inch, well, right on a half inch. using my handy tape measure. Somehow the micrometer is missing in action. Oh well. We won't worry about that. So a nice anodized aluminum. The ergos, actually not bad at all, pretty neutral. Got a little bit of a finger cut out there. You can put your thumb full length on the blade. You can use the jimping, which has got a lot of grip to it, but it's not overly aggressive. You've got a good run of jimping there. Got your lanyard slot. Very interesting construction, as I said. Front flipper. Let's take another look at that front flipper in the closed position. Yeah, I mean, it sticks out a little bit, but the clip is not necessarily deep carry, but you do have a little bit to hang on to there. And it's got some good spring to it, not overly stiff, not overly loose. Centering on the blade, dead center. And as I say, you can get this in a black G10 and a red anodized aluminum if you like. Looks like we've got 1, 2, 4 screws, 2 on each side. You know, Maxace does some really interesting stuff. They're the parent company for Midnight Cat, and you can get some real interesting Midnight Cat knives. The other Maxace that I reviewed recently is the Goliath 2. You can check that review out. Also a very interesting knife. Let's do a few quick comparisons. One thing I am able to find is my comparison blades. And there we have the Griptilian, which falls a little bit shorter, mainly in blade length, because we're over a 1/2 inch on the Kestrel. For a large blade comparison, we'll use the Ontario Rat 1, longer handle, and well, let's see. Interestingly, shorter blade. Let's check something out. Wonder if I'm getting the right specs from the company. They say 3.6. I think they're talking about the edge, and even that's a little more than 3.6. So we're really getting a blade of 3 3/4. So my apologies. Initial specs were off. We get a 8.5 inch overall length, which is about what they said. That's right out to the end of the lanyard extension, pommel, whatever you want to call it, which really doesn't stick out that much further than the handle, but gives you a tiny bit of extra length. So yeah, we're talking a 3 3/4 inch blade here. My apologies, but that's good. I like larger knives. Nice and flat at a 1/2 inch. Not heavily contoured, pretty square in the cross section, except for that machined part right there. So there you have the Maxace Kestrel, a combo G10 and aluminum handle with a high-end Bowler M690, Bowler M390, thinking of 690 and 690, Bowler M390 steel. Check it out. I think it's a great value with a interesting, differently constructed knife for your collection. As always, don't forget to like the video and subscribe, and we'll be back with some more interesting blades. This Old Sword, signing out.